I believe that everybody has a story, and I'm fascinated to hear them. So come with me as we take a walk down Fascination Street. From the writer of The Alphabet Killer and the company that brought you The Attic and Shattered comes the new terrifying horror film, #Screamers.
Homepage?
Homepage, guys.
Yeah.
Homepage, Chris. We need homepage from you.
In a state of shock.
Chris, what do you hope is the future of the company?
We are people's first connection when they turn on their computer. That is the ultimate goal.
I want to make Giggler into $1 billion company, and we're going to do it. Watch us on the cover of Time magazine. All right, we have a huge video, okay? And we all know this. If we don't capitalize on that video, we're nowhere, okay? So here's what I want to do.
Abby, check out this video, see what you can find, okay? Griffin,
Find out who's making these things.
we are supposed to not be able to track you. But the truth is, we can track you.
This is Tom Brennan from Giggler.com. Were you the person responsible for making the videos that were submitted to us?
How did you get this number?
Oh, she hung up.
In this first screamer that we got, I realized this belongs to a Frances Tumulty.
Okay, who is?
Is one of the prime suspects of Jack the Ripper.
No way. I'm looking at the original Screamer video. I'm scrubbing this.
same girl. It says she's been missing for years.
I mean, there are dozens of news articles about the disappearance of this girl.
This is a prank.
This is for real.
You know, it must be a real girl that's kidnapped by Jack the Ripper. Yeah, that makes sense. Oh my God! Okay, we take this camera, we go up and we confront them. We have an address. Let's go knock on the goddamn door.
Tom, I don't think this is a good idea. Just.
No, man, this is a good video.
Tom, it's okay. Come on, guys. What the hell was that?
Tara?
Oh, what the?
Available now on iTunes and VOD everywhere. Hi everybody, this is Steve Owens from Fascination Street Podcast. I really appreciate your listening to the show. I'm having a lot of fun getting to talk to some really fascinating people, and I want to continue doing this, but I need your help. I need you to subscribe and tell people about the show. But the biggest thing you can do to help me is to rate and review the show on iTunes or wherever you listen through. As a special thank you, anyone who rates and or reviews the show, send me a screenshot as proof and I will mail you a set of 3 pair of silk cufflinks courtesy of my friends at Menlo House. You can send it via Twitter to @FascinationSTPD, via Instagram to FascinationStreetPod, or email me at FascinationStreetPod@gmail.com. I really appreciate all of you for listening and for helping. Thank you so much. Now let's get to this week's guest. Welcome back, guys. This episode is my chat with Hollywood legend Ed Asner. Depending on your age, you know Ed Asner from The Mary Tyler Moore Show, Lou Grant, even the Pixar movie Up. In this episode, we talk about Mary Tyler Moore Show, Lou Grant, and Up, of course, but we also talk about his new book, The Grouchy Historian. An old-time lefty defends our Constitution against right-wing hypocrites and nutjobs. We talk about his touring one-man show, A Man And His Prostate, and he even tells us a really cool story about him, Gavin MacLeod, and Ted Knight. Enjoy, guys. This is Ed Asner.
Hello?
Hi, Mr. Asner.
Yeah.
Hi, this is Steve Owens with Fascination Street Podcast. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
I am doing well. Well, Mr. Asner, first I just want to thank you so much for taking this time. I'm a huge fan, have been for my entire life. So this means a lot to me. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now, first of all, can I call you Ed?
Oh, absolutely.
Or would you prefer I call you Yitzhak?
That's my Hebrew name.
Well, since I'm not Hebrew, I won't call you that. How's that?
All right.
Well, Mr. Asner, you have
Hey,
been...
I thought it was Ed.
Oh, see? I already messed up. See how I am?
You are. You messed up.
Well, Ed, everybody knows who you are, mostly. It depends on the generation, but either from Mary Tyler Moore Show or Lou Grant, even Roots. The younger generations know you as the grouchy old man from that Pixar movie Up. What do you get the most recognition from?
Well, nothing can compare to what I've received from Mary Tyler Moore.
Really?
Well, that's a number of years, man.
Yeah, it was. I wanted to talk to you about that. So, Mary Tyler Moore was a half-hour sitcom based on a television newsroom, and then your character spun off to your own show, which was it converted to a 1-hour comedy in a newspaper office. How does that work?
Wasn't a comedy.
I'm sorry, I meant a 1-hour drama. So, how did that work out?
It worked out fine.
What made everybody decide to spin Lou Grant off into a 1-hour drama?
Nothing like that had really existed before. The market seemed good for it. They didn't seem to think that they could continue creating comedy with network TV. So the two producers had been identified with newspapers before. They found it an intriguing hole to dive into. And as they dived, and all the people they brought along with them, nobody had ever done newspapers before or done a show about them.
Well, I think it worked out really well. Why did it end?
I was outspoken on El Salvador and Nicaragua at the time. I was deemed a loudmouth and branded by others as a commie.
A commie?
Yeah.
All right. Do you think that that's the only time that you being outspoken off camera has impacted your career?
To my knowledge, yes. Yeah.
Gotcha. I'm probably going to jump around a little bit. You were in the service like before you started acting, right?
Yeah.
Which branch?
Army, Signal Corps.
And did you go anywhere overseas?
France.
Ooh, nice. Was there any good memories of that time?
It was a wonderful experience. I will be grateful to Uncle Sam all my life for taking me across the ocean.
Have you been back since?
I've been back to France, yeah.
Oh, cool. When did you decide that you wanted to get into acting?
Oh, I've been toying with the idea in the back of my mind, not consciously so, but I think it was, you just didn't think in those terms in those days. You didn't think that's how you made a living in life. I didn't think naturally, I wasn't handsome, so I couldn't think of becoming a leading man. So I tried out for a play in college. I ended up doing the lead, and I came to realize that theater acting was more than being handsome and being a leading man.
What more?
What more?
Yeah, you said it's more than just being handsome. What is it?
An examiner of the human condition under many different circumstances.
Nice. What do you get personally out of it each time?
I think it became therapy for me. It became a means of transporting myself into somebody else, alleviating the load of not liking who I was. Was
that an issue?
I think so.
Are you over it?
I'm not entirely in love with myself, but I guess I'm over it.
All right. So when did you decide that you wanted to run for the Screen Actors Guild president?
When many of the friends I was surrounded by felt that I had to do it to save the union.
That's what I was going to ask. So did you do it because you wanted to make specific changes?
Yeah, we had just been involved in a big strike at that time. I had been allied with the liberal wing of the union at that prior to that time. I felt that we should not have settled the strike that quickly or that cheaply. So my friends felt that I should run and present to the membership of the union a more aggressive presidency.
And were you able to make the changes that you wanted? Or at least send it in that direction?
You never make the changes you want. There's always something that gets in the way. Or you find that by making change in one sense, you're increasing the burden in another sense. So it's time wasted.
But it took you 2 terms to figure that out, though, right?
Yeah, more than that.
More than 2 terms?
Yeah, I was on the board after that.
Gotcha.
I've been on the opposition, so to speak, up until recently when I finally retired from the board, so that the battle still goes on.
Do you think that SAG protected the actors more then or now?
I don't think they do it now.
Really? Not at all, huh?
No.
Wow.
They've gotten too big. One of the main reasons I did not want to see the merger take place, because they hadn't solved the problems of portability. Portability of pension, portability of health care. And they still haven't done it.
Do you think they will in your lifetime?
Probably not.
Well, that's a little disheartening. Let's move on to something else. So you've been nominated for, I think it's over 20 Emmys, right?
I guess so.
And you won a couple.
What do you mean a couple? You don't know how to count.
Ooh. Well, how
I
many?
won 7.
Well, I heard it was 8. That's why because I heard somebody said it was 7 and then somebody else said it was 8. So,
Yeah, well, I won a Canadian Emmy as well, so that makes it 8.
wow. Where do you keep them?
Oh, strewn about the house.
Nice. Does any one of them stand out as more important or special to you?
Not really. The first one was a treasure, a surprise, a tremendous surprise. The second became the confirmation of the first. And it goes on like that. Now I haven't received any in a long time. So if I got one now, that would signify that you folks haven't forgotten me.
I don't think anybody's likely to forget you anytime in the near future.
Okay.
So you were born in Kansas City?
Yeah.
And when is the last time you went back to Kansas City?
For my brother's funeral, year before last.
Well, that is super sad, and I apologize. I'm sorry.
No, you don't have to apologize.
So I was in Kansas City probably about 2 years ago, and there's this thing. I don't know if it was there when you were younger or if you've been back since it's been up, but I guess some farmers found in a field like a sunken riverboat that was it was like a Walmart. It was full of everything that they would drop off to the local general stores up and down the river, but it sank full. And so they dug it up and turned it into like this museum, and it's called the Arabia, and it's right there in Kansas City on the border between Missouri and Kansas. And if you haven't been, you should really check it out because it is historical and amazing. It's my favorite thing about Kansas City.
What year was it dated?
The actual boat, like when did it go down?
Yeah.
Somewhere like in the 1840s, I think. And then the river moved and it ended up being like in the middle of a farmer's cornfield or something, and they dug it up.
No kidding.
Yeah, no kidding.
I haven't heard a thing about it.
Wow. When I was there, I spent about 3.5 hours just oohing and ahhing over every single thing. It was so amazing. It's like a Walmart sank, but a Walmart from
They were able to tie out everything?
Yeah. And there's everything from tools to, doorknobs and keys and knives, and there's beads and dishes and jewelry, just everything that you would find at the general stores, 150 years ago.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
It sounds fascinating.
It really is cool.
Where is it? Is it on the Missouri side or the Kansas side?
I think it's on the Missouri side, but I had never heard of it. But when I was there, I was asking some people what I should go do while my wife was at work that day, and that suggestion came up, and I'm sure glad it did. I've told everybody I could about it. It's amazing.
What was your wife working on?
My wife builds psychiatric hospitals around the country, and she was building one there.
Mm-hmm.
And while she was, she was there to finalize some things, and while she was doing that, I went to the Arabia.
Well, that's a noble calling she's got.
Well, she's really sweet, and she's been doing it for about 25 years, so she's really good at it.
Well, and it's a good thing that you have somebody who is versed in psychiatry.
It's a good thing sometimes, but when she gets all psychiatry on me, I want to get all mad and say, knock it off.
Well, that's too goddamn bad, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it is. It's hard to win a fight around here.
Good. Nice to know that there are controls in your life, that there are limits.
Well, how dare you?
Yeah. I'm not married right now, and I sure could use some limits myself.
Oh, really?
No. So if your wife wants to change affiliations,
I'll ask her.
I'm in the market.
I will let her know.
All right.
She did want me to let you know that she had a crush on you back in the Mary Tyler Moore days.
Well, tell her she has good taste.
Oh, I will tell her that.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think that you have an Ed Asner Foundation. Is that right?
Well, we're starting one, yes. My son and his wife are creating the Ed Asner. I don't know what the exact name of it is. It's trying to create counseling and coaching and tutorship, primarily for children, but it's the center for achieving flowering.
Is it for a particular...
Well, autism is certainly one of the things to be considered, but, I mean, any social burden would hopefully be handled there, be it ADD or be it Downs, whatever.
What inspired this?
My son and his daughter. My son has been vice president with Autism Speaks and just recently left the Autism Society. So he's been planning this for a couple of years now.
Gotcha. Well, I will before I put this up, I'll make sure and get that website where people can go to donate and to see what they can do to help.
Yeah, that would be a big help and would be certainly most welcome.
So, you were in a couple of movies with Elvis Presley, if I'm not mistaken. Is that right?
Yep.
Did you have any scenes with him?
Well, sure. Not in Kid Galahad to speak of, but in Change of Habit I did.
And what was your impression of him? Because by then you had been acting probably for longer than him, I would assume.
Oh yeah.
So what did you think about his acting chops?
Well, in Kid Galahad, right at the beginning of his success, he had a bunch of good old boys as an entourage, and he was in the midst of practicing karate. I think one hand was broken at the time, but he was a good old boy, and he was the belle of the ball, and a good guy.
Really?
Oh, yeah. And the same applied when he did Change of Habit. He was a good guy there, too. He never stopped being a good guy. He had less of an entourage at that point, but he was much more alluring. He was quite the chick magnet.
Weren't you also?
What makes you think so?
I feel like there's some stories.
What do you mean there was stories?
No, I just feel
Well,
like...
let me hear the skinny.
I just feel like I've heard tale of you being a man about town.
Well, I use Uber.
I don't know. I just got.
Why, are you a Lyft man?
No, I am not. Well, when I'm in LA, I use Uber. It's way easier than trying to drive in that town. Good Lord.
God, it's horrible.
Yes.
Really become horrible.
It is terrible.
Yes.
Tell me about Ted Knight. You guys worked on screen. Did y'all have a relationship off screen? Were y'all friends?
Oh, we used to go out every Friday night after the show with our wives and have dinner, drinks. We were the cat's meow.
The cat's meow. Did you guys ever? I don't know. Did you guys learn anything from each other as far as acting ever?
Well, I saw what it was like to be the funniest man I ever knew, and that was Ted. He was a comic genius, so it was easy to pick up hints watching him. The best story I can tell you about that is one time Gavin and I were walking along. Ted was in the midst of rehearsing a scene. I said, guys, watch this and tell me what you think. So we watched it, and it was a very funny scene. He was very funny. He said, now we're going to do it again. I'm going to do it a different way, and I want you to tell me how they compare for you. So he did it a different way. It was still funny, almost as funny as the first. Then he came back and said, "Now I'm going to do it a third way, and you let me know." We watched the third way. It was funny too and different. Finally, he ended up settling on the first method with some modification. And Kevin and I looked and we thought, that son of a bitch. We struggled to get it right the first time, and hopefully it's the best that we get. And he cavalierly waltzes through and comes up with 3 different interpretations, all of which are enormously saleable. So that shows you his comic capacity.
What a great story. Thank you for that. So you have been on TV, movies, Broadway, and you do voiceovers. Is there any one of those that you prefer now that you're a little bit older?
Well, Broadway's not at the top. Broadway never did enough to satisfy me. Working and working and reworking and working and reworking. With TV, you can do a great job in refining the results. Film, I had the pleasure of doing Elf with Jon Favreau. That was a delight. As much as I hate to say it, I prefer film to stage. Stage is where you start, where you learn. So you got to do it.
That makes sense. What about voice acting or voiceovers?
I love it. I love it.
Yeah?
I've done a lot of it. I did radio in high school.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. I was busy being the deep-voiced continental lover most of the time. What are you laughing at?
The way
you laughing at me?
No, sir.
You better not laugh at me.
I have a question about the movie Up. I was looking at the Wikipedia page for that movie, and it says that movie's budget was $175 million. That can't be true, can it?
They didn't spend it on me.
Do you think it was mostly advertising?
I don't know where that money went. Well, maybe it was. I don't know. I have no idea. We didn't see it there.
According to that same article, it made $735 million worldwide. Did you see any of that money?
Whoa, not enough of it.
So you are, well, I guess right now you're taking a break, but back when August comes, you're going to continue your one-man show, A Man And His Prostate. Is that right?
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about that show. Besides your prostate, what's it about?
Well, it was written by Ed Weinberger, who was a producer, writer on the Mary Tyler Moore Show, and has been very successful since. It's a wonderful show. It's a wonderful show which talks about the fact that every 16 minutes a man dies of cancer, prostate cancer in this country, and at the same time giving you that information, alerting you to that information. I performed Ed's attack of prostatitis on a cruise ship to Italy to gales of laughter.
Well, it sounds awesome.
Yeah, it is. It's a wonderful package.
I would encourage everybody listening to go to amanandhisprostate.com and see where it's showing, where it's touring. It will be picking back up in August in New York, Connecticut, and Rhode Island. I'm sure it might be other places, so check that website to find out.
And if you don't like the show, Steve will refund your money.
See? That's what I will do. Wait a minute. Hold on now.
What is it? What's wrong?
I don't want to do that. I don't want to replace anybody's money. Why don't you just tell them that it's going to be a good show and they will enjoy it?
As I said, if you're not happy with the show, Steve will refund your money.
Thanks, Ed.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so...
Anything I can do for you, my friend, and widen your audience, widen your appeal, I'll do it.
Hey, guess what, Ed? I'm going to tell everybody that you said we're friends. I have it on recording. You said we're friends.
I'll deny it when they ask me, but go ahead.
Oh, man. Okay, so your people sent me your book. Your book is called The Grouchy Historian, an old-time lefty defends our Constitution against right-wing hypocrites and nutjobs. Now, this book was
Where are you based?
I'm in San Antonio, Texas.
Aha. I've been there.
Why? Oh, basic training?
Hey, don't get uppity with me, pal.
When were you here?
I don't know, I was invited there, and I was quite pleased with what I found.
Well, consider yourself invited back.
Thank you. It would not be burdensome.
Oh, that's good to hear. Good to hear. So your people sent me this book, but then I found out that you read the audiobook yourself. So I bought the audiobook and listened to that.
Aha! You already listened to it?
Yes, sir, I did. Every bit of it. And
Did you like it?
I was delighted. It was charming.
Wow.
It was funny. I found it educational.
Yeah, it definitely is that.
So, since I have this actual hard copy paper book, and I've already listened to the audiobook, I'm going to go ahead and give away this copy of the book to one of my listeners. You okay with that?
Yeah, it has a signature.
It does not.
Well, you can tell them, send it to me, whoever you award the book to, and I'll sign it.
I'll tell you what. I will mail you the book cover jacket.
Yeah?
And then you can sign that and then send it back to me, and then I'll give it away. How's that?
Well, no. Wait until you find out who won it, and then I can address it to them personally.
Oh, that's an even better idea.
Uh-huh.
I love it.
You idiot.
Okay, so let's talk about this book. Ed Weinberger helped you write this book also?
Yeah. Yeah, what do you want me to say?
I want you to tell me why you wrote it.
Well, I've been hearing for years, as has he, how Republicans claim they own the goddamn Constitution, that only they can interpret it, that they are the heirs to the originalists. What a lot of crap. We just wanted the American people to start thinking for themselves and proclaiming the Constitution as their document, not belonging to Republicans generally.
Gotcha. How much research went into making this book?
Great deal. You see all the attributions.
It appears like this was a lot of research went into making this book. It is.
Oh, there was a lot of.
It is very detailed, and it dives deep into stuff that I never heard of before. A lot of it I had never heard before.
Yeah. Ed did almost all of the research. I have another friend, young lawyer, who aided him. They're pretty rock solid on their bases of interpretation.
What inspired you to get John Amos to read that particular section of the book?
Well, John had worked at Mary Tyler Moore Show. We were friends. He played for Kansas City. In those days, John used to bill himself as the most traded pro football player in the sport. He's a wonderful guy, and he's a good actor.
He's a great actor.
Yeah.
When you picked up the phone and called him and asked him to be a part of this, was he excited? Was he skeptical?
Yes, of course he was. I told him I'd beat the crap out of him if he didn't do it, so he said, yes, Ed. And he did.
Nice. Have you done any speaking tours with this book?
I've done book signings, and Ed and I have appeared jointly talking about it in a few places. Not a lot.
Well, I think you should come to San Antonio and do one. Just for me.
I'm all for that. But with the Me Too gangs out there, you have to be very careful about how you expose yourself and not set yourself up to be depredated by the Me Too ladies.
So, being in the business as long as you've been in the business...
Don't you agree?
I absolutely agree. Being in the business as long as you have been, did you see a lot of the behavior that inspired the Me Too movement?
No, I didn't see it. And, of course, I have been accused at times myself of being too forward in my approach to women. I am aggressive, and thank God I have never forced myself on any woman that I know of. And I will hopefully step forward and cite chapter and verse to me, and I will either acknowledge my sins or combat it any way I can. I was never aware of another male's misusage, because it's a private, I'm sure even Harvey Weinstein did a lot of his depredation in private.
Yeah, I think so. Tell me about touring. I think you played Franklin Delano Roosevelt for quite a while on Broadway, they toured the country.
I did it for about 4 years.
Now that's a long time. How was traveling? Like how are you with that kind of travel?
Well, I'm traveling as much with Man And His Prostate. I don't blossom well with travel, but it's the only way we get the show out there.
And why do you do it? I mean, I'm pretty sure that you probably don't need the money to pay your bills. So...
Yes, I do. Mind your own goddamn business.
Oh my gosh, that might be the name of this episode. Oh, Ed, you are a delight to talk to, my friend.
Well, you're a good questioner.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. I sure want to meet your wife.
Yes, you do. She's beautiful. She is gorgeous.
I said, tell her I need some head work.
Oh my goodness. I probably won't tell her that part.
Why not?
Oh, I don't know. Hashtag me too.
Oh no, I'm not talking sexually.
Oh, okay.
You idiot. You think I would talk like that to you?
Oh my gosh, you're so refreshing.
Mm-hmm. I hope your wife finds me that way.
Oh my goodness. What's on the horizon? What do you got planned? Besides pimping this book and finishing this A Man and His Prostate tour, what else do you got going on?
Well, you speak of horizon, and as I look out over the Pacific, and as I reach the edge of the horizon, I see ships coming, and I see the top of their masts, and then as they get closer, I see more and more of their masts. So it seems like they're sailing on a circle. So I have a theory that the world is round.
Are you messing with me?
Why would I mess with you, sailor?
You don't really think the world's round.
I certainly am beginning to think so.
Well, that is a fantastic idea. I'll have to think about that and get back to you.
Try that sea thing I told you about.
It might be
Go
that.
down there in the Gulf and look at the horizon and watch boats coming towards you. And you'll see it starts with the masts, and then as they get more and more, see more masts, and finally the boat. So I think you'll find I'm right.
Well, I think you might just be.
Well, it's nice to hear somebody corroborate me.
One of my favorite TV shows that didn't last very long was Studio 60 on the Sunset Strip. Do you have any stories, or do you remember that show fondly?
Well, I liked what he wrote for me. He's a great writer. But I felt he was wasting too much time on the love stories of the young people when he could have been involving everybody dramatically with me. I'm sure the show would have lasted had he done more of that.
Yeah, I think if he focused more on you, I think the show'd still be on.
Yeah, of course it would.
Well, Ed,
I had a lovely time saying his words.
Well, it was my favorite TV show when it was on, and it broke my heart when it got canceled.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Well, send your heart to me with the book cover.
Oh.
And I'll try to repair it.
And also send my wife.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah, that too.
I'll pay the postage on that one.
Well, I appreciate that. Is there anything that you wanted to talk about that I didn't bring up?
Well, you haven't mentioned your mistress.
Oh, I never mention her. That's how she stays a mistress.
Well, can you send pictures?
Not of my mistress, of my wife, maybe. Wait, what?
Either one, I'll be glad to slobber and slave her over either of them.
How very flattering.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I know the way to a woman's heart.
I bet you do.
Yep.
I bet you
Been there, done that.
A few times, I'm sure.
Yeah. Unfortunately, my ex-wife is not speaking to me right now, but when she comes to her senses, she'll start speaking to me again.
And none of my ex-wives speak to me, and I'm okay with it.
Oh, really?
Yes,
How
sir.
many you been married?
I'm on my third marriage right now.
Oh, my goodness. Well, then I certainly empathize.
And I empathize with you, sir.
Oh, good, good. And I know that you identify with the problems I speak of and recognize them, and we're birds of a feather.
We are. That is the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Ed Asner, I want to...
Yeah?
I want to thank you so much for your time. I know that it's a
holiday. No. The gratitude's all mine.
Absolutely not. You made time for me. I really appreciate it. I want to let you get back to the rest of your day.
Thank you. What's left of it?
What is left of it, indeed. I will, when this show comes out, I will put a link to your book and the link to a manandhisprostate.com in the show notes so that people can go there and buy both of those things. Go see the show and buy the book. The book is phenomenal.
Okay.
You guys did a really good job on that book, Ed. You should be proud.
I am. I really am. And it's an important book.
It is important. Like I said, it opened my eyes up to a lot of things I was unaware of.
That's great. That's really great. All right. Kiss your wife.
I will kiss her from me, not from you, you scoundrel.
Why? What did I do to you?
You're going to have to let me know when you're headed this way.
Oh, I'll have my AK-47 with me, so you'll know.
What the heck? No, man, I just want to give you a ride, that's all.
Oh, okay. All right. Then I'll kill you.
There you go. I appreciate that. Thank you so much, Ed.
All right.
You have a great rest of your day, okay?
Thanks, Steve.
Thank you, sir. You were a delight.
Really good talking to you.
You too. Bye-bye.
Take care.
What's up, guys? I'm back with this month's Menlo Club promo code. Menlo Club, as you know, is a subscription-based clothing service for men that I've been using for over 2.5 years. Every month, for $60, tax and shipping included, they send you a surprise package. In that package is everything from jeans to t-shirts to short sleeve button-ups, long sleeve button-ups, shorts, socks, belts, swimsuits even workout gear. Did I mention shoes? Every month, they pick a couple of those different things and they send them to you, all for $60. But when you sign up, if you use promo code FSP, as in Fascination Street Podcast, you'll get 50% off your first month plus free socks and a free pair of sunglasses for the month of July. How cool is that? Just for putting FSP. Just because you're a listener. So go to menlohouse.com and sign up. Use promo code FSP and you'll be happy you did. Opening music is the song Magnolia from the 2014 album Intransigence, used with permission from Douglas Miles Clark. Closing music is Apollo from the 2001 album Into the Known by the band Sapphire. Thanks for hanging out with us and getting to know a little bit about our guest. We'll see you next time on Fascination Street.